All right, welcome back. We hope that you enjoyed and that you were able to support our first interview in BBD Salon with their 8th annual coat drive. Please, if you can, either volunteer or give a coat. And right now we're going to have my favorite part of the Congo Hour, my favorite part of the week. It's my student of the week, and I would like to introduce to you all Miss Asia. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm fine.
You doing all right? You want to just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how old you are, what school you go to, what grade you're in.
I'm 17. I go to John Dickinson High School, and I'm in 11th grade.
Okay, so how do you like Dickinson?
It's okay.
It's okay? All
Yes.
right. What's your favorite class there? I think you said math, right?
Yes.
You like math. So we got a math genius on our hands. I think you
like
recently made honor roll, didn't you?
Yes.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You want to, I know you brought a couple people here with you. You want to introduce them? Who would you bring with you?
This is my boyfriend, Kyrie.
All right. Welcome to the show.
That's my sister, India.
All right. Welcome. I know you guys are very proud of Asia.
Yes.
All right. So what school do you go to? How old are you? Tell us about yourself.
I'm 18. I just graduated this year in passing.
Did you? From where?
June 8th, William Penn High School.
Okay. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And don't even try it.
She's a little shy.
She's a little shy.
Yes.
She goes to Skyline?
Yes.
Skyline. What grade are you in?
8th.
8th grade? Oh, I can't believe you're gonna try to act shy. As soon as the camera's they're not even on. We're just practicing right now. The camera's not on yet. Okay, they'll be on in a little bit. All right, so you can just go ahead and speak freely, okay? Like we were out. No, you're not going for that. Oh, I know you, but you're proud of your big sister, right? Yeah, I'm sure you are. Did you? So how'd you enjoy your limousine ride?
It was fun.
It was fun?
Yes.
That's cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was nice, too, because when we got to school, your principal was out front. What's his name? Mr. Thompson?
Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Murphy. Yeah, Mr. Murphy was out front waiting. Is he always out there?
Yes.
Is he? That's pretty cool. He always greets the children in the morning. I like that. All right, so what's going on? You want to tell us anything about you? You working? Any you guys working? Tell me about yourselves. You working?
No,
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet? All right.
I'm looking though.
Looking though. Oh yeah, we're gonna give him some cars to watch. We made an agreement. In the hallway. He said he's gonna.
Okay.
You can help Uncle Mike keep some of the cars clean.
Sounds good.
Gotta keep him busy.
Okay.
It comes from good stock, you know. Jesus' grandmother, so
I know.
she's a hard worker, so I'm sure he
She'll
is
keep
too.
him straight.
I know she will.
That's
right. That's right. Well, I do have a certificate for you, Asia. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
And it says, the Sunday Congo Hour presents our Jaquana M. Lewis Memorial Certificate of Academic Excellence to our Student of the Week, community service recognition of youth who are making a difference. And it's given by the Congo Funeral Home. I just want to present that to you.
Thank you.
Encourage you to keep up the great work. Keep up the good work in school. What are you doing for the holidays? Anything?
I don't know yet.
No plans yet?
No.
All right. You guys want to give any shout outs to anybody who's watching? I know.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Uncle Curtis. I see y'all out there. You know, that's all I wanted to say. And I'm happy to be up here with y'all.
I want to hear the other one talk.
Yeah, I know somebody you know is watching. You got to give them a shout. You got to say hi and no waving either. Nobody? Nobody can get any love? Oh, that's all right. What about you, Asia? You want to give anybody any shout outs? Nah? Okay. You have anything that you want to say before we go to break?
No.
You okay? All right. Well, thank you for coming. And how about the people who brought you down here? You gotta give them a shout out at least.
Thank you, Mom. And
All right. I'm about to say. Well, she got shy. She didn't want to come on. No?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll give her a break this time. All right. Well, everybody, I want you guys to have a great holiday.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
too.
And you gotta keep in touch, man, so we can keep you busy. Get you a little car washing job. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. All right, we're gonna take a really quick break, and then we'll be right back. Tickets. All right, we're gonna give away some tickets to the 5th annual Christmas Jazz event that's gonna happen on Saturday, December the 19th. It's gonna be at 7 p.m. at the Central Baptist Church on 8th and Pine Streets. It's featuring Kim Waters. And for ticket information, you can call 656-6234. Once again, that number is 656-6234. It's going to happen on this Saturday at the Central Baptist Church, and it's going to be a jazz event. Should be a lot of fun. But we're going to give away some tickets. We're going to give away 4 tickets, each to the first 4 callers. You each win 1 ticket. Tickets are only $35. But if you call that number that I just said, I'll give it again. You have to leave, probably going to have to leave a message, and they'll give you a call back. But once again, the number is 656-6234. 656-6234. The first 4 callers who call that, leave a message, will each win 1 ticket. All right, and Alfie Moss is a part of this also, so you know it's going to be a good time.
Very good time.
Yeah. All right, we have our next interview. We have some guys up here who are going to introduce themselves. I don't want to lose this stuff. Matter of fact, we're talking about giving away stuff. I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna let you slide for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back and talk about you and your weight loss.
Okay. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
Yes.
You're here to finally face the music.
Face the music.
All right. So, well, after this interview, we'll come back and briefly talk about.
We have to have Sherry on. First.
Okay. All right. That's true. All right. Welcome to the show, fellas. What's going on?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome back. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. How long ago was that when you guys were on here before?
2 years ago.
Was it? Okay.
It was actually
All right.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So what's been going on lately? But first, just introduce yourselves and tell everybody who you are.
Okay, I'm James May. They know me as Baby Boy.
I'm Mr. Smith from New Circle Records, artist and co-founder.
Okay.
I'm 7CL, repping Foundation First.
All right. And so tell me a little bit about what you have going on.
When we was on the last time, we were talking about the clothing line and the things that we had going on. We were venturing into the music.
Right.
Now we're a full independent label, New Circle Records.
Okay.
I'm one of the co-founders. A guy by the name of Jiz is a co-founder, and my brother KJ, he's a co-founder along with Mr. Smith.
Okay.
We founded New Circle Records, and we've been doing pretty well independently.
All right.
He just performed at the Philadelphia Hip Hop Awards in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
Jiz just performed in November in New York.
For the
We
Coast to
performed
Coast.
too. Coast to Coast. Coast to Coast Live. We're getting ready to be in DC Thursday. Moving pretty good.
So what do you offer any artists out there? What can you offer them?
Right now, what we're doing is we're building a foundation for ourselves.
Okay.
And what we can do is we can give a lot of knowledge. This 2 years has been brutal.
That's why I always hear that about the music industry.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I heard it.
You got to have a love for it, because if you don't have a love for it, it's definitely going to wear you down. And the business, you got to know the business side of it. A lot of guys are getting out here, they're producing music, but they don't really know the business side, or they don't have a team to help them understand the business side.
Okay.
I dedicated myself these last 2 years, 2 years,
Yes, sir.
in just learning the business and going full throttle with it.
Okay. All right.
It's his passion, my brother's passion, Jiz's passion, and the business side of it is my passion.
Okay. All right.
So I really get to thrive out of that.
So what has been your most valuable lesson learned?
Copywriting.
Yeah.
Copywriting. Wow. Copywriting and being your own publishing. If you are not your own publishing company, you're gonna pretty much get inched out. You're gonna get inched out, and they're gonna have their way with you.
Right. So break that down. Like what is that when you say publishing company?
Publishing company. We own 100% of our royalties.
Okay.
We don't have 50 or 75% going to, say, like Sony or Rock Nation or somebody like that. We're doing all our stuff ourselves, and we have our own publishing rights, our own put out. We're on iTunes. We're on Tidal, Apple Music, we pushed all that stuff ourselves. So
Okay.
we get our own 100%
Right.
rights back.
Okay, I got you.
But the angle you have to do it is just brutal. Everybody thinks it's easy. It's not easy at all. You know what I mean? To have your own music out there, to have your own company to push. And the backing, like if you don't have the backing of people that's already been there, we have a couple mentors that already been in the industry. And they help. Two different entities, they help a lot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's been a venture, and it's been a fun venture,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's been a
good.
venture.
That's good. That's good.
So it's really been, could you say this is a political game also?
It is. It is, Mr. Congo. It's political because if you don't really know somebody, you're kind of stagnant. You'll become stagnant. So when I found out when we started getting on the college circuit as a whole, he went number 3 nationally on the top 40 hip hop circuit nationally. Jizz went number 3. Jizz went number 4, and we got one more song that's out there now that's 30 in the top 40. If you don't know somebody, your music kind of falls off.
All right.
So if you don't know a certain person, like we know Tobin Costin, was Master P's partner. He's one of my mentors. Talk to him on a regular basis. He gives us a lot of vital information, and that was one of the circuits that we got put on through him to push our music, and it's been doing great.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean? You got to stay on top of it, because if you don't stay on top of it, it don't work.
All right.
He'll contest to that.
So you said you're on, like, how can people find your music?
We're on Google Play, Apple Music, Tidal, which is Jay-Z's line, Amazon. We have our website, www.innernewcircle.com. Be on the lookout for innernewcirclerecords.com coming to you in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
We got a site being built right now for just our record label.
Are you looking for any artists, or you just?
We're actually taking the music. You can email your music to us at jmay.innernewcircle.com. We'll accept the music there, listen to it, send your information.
Okay.
We'll get back with you. What I'm starting to understand about the music is everybody thinks that it's a quick fix. You got to be in it for a little bit to really understand it. And then other people don't believe in you until you actually are on, or you're in a position of, oh man, now you know your friends want to say, oh come on. But before, when you were first starting it, they was like, oh man, you ain't. You know what I mean? Now people starting to realize we wearing our own clothing. We got our own clothing line, which is Inkware, which is doing great.
That's good.
Online.
All right. Anybody else want to say a few things before we go to break?
I just say for all the independent artists, you know, that's starting out, you know, starting to do this, you know, really take the time and learn the business side of it before you actually think, you know, it's all about just the talent, because a lot of it, you know, I've been doing this for a while now, and, you know, the main thing that people give you is that, you know, the business side of it. You know, you could have 5% talent, but if you have 90% business knowledge, you'd be more successful in what you're doing, and knowing, you know, not getting beat by ins and outs and wondering why you see an artist one day and then you don't see them another day. 9 times out of 10 is because they don't have the business issues right before they want to jump out there. You know, it's all about the money, and, you know, like he said, you know, you really want to be in it for the long haul more so than just, you know, fortune or fame. It's got to be something that's in you. Otherwise, you know, it dies off, it fizzles, and, you know, you lose your drive and your passion for it, and, you know, you're just stuck doing whatever else, you know, you could possibly see.
I like to say, always study your craft, hard work, and don't let nobody else stop you from believing in your dreams or your goals. You have people that want you to do something to them with them that'll benefit them but won't benefit you, and might distract you or detract you from your goals. So never let no one distract you from your goals, and study your craft and hard work.
Oh,
All
dude.
right, fellas, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you for
Don't
having
Don't
us.
make it so long next time y'all come back. All right.
We tries.
All
We
right.
try, Trippy. We
All
try.
right, I know y'all
Appreciate
busy,
having
though.
us.
All right, so we're gonna take another break, and we'll be right back with Councilwoman Sherry Dorsey. She's gonna talk about some things she has going on. I'll let her talk. I'll let her
Sounds good.
bring it to the community. All right.
Okay. Well, after 3 or 4 weeks and Trippy counseling my Sammy's Corner, we're back. And we're back with an exciting few minutes with our next Lieutenant Governor. I'm not going to talk a lot about that, and I'm not going to say much. I just want to turn this program over to my great friend, Sherry Walker Dorsey.
Dorsey Walker. Dorsey Walker.
All right, what did I say wrong?
You had me married to my daddy.
Oh, I
Walker.
need to get that turned around. That's Sherry Dorsey Walker.
That is correct.
I see. Well, now, she said I had her married to her daddy, so I'm glad I straightened that out. And we're going on with Sherry explaining why, and I'm going to ask you that question. Why do you think, and why did you want to be the Lieutenant Governor?
First, thanks for having me on. And secondly, I really looked at the infrastructure of our state. And a lot happens in Dover. A lot of times people think that, we as city council members, there's so much that we can do as city council members, but the actual power to help the people comes out of Dover. And what greater way than to be a part of the infrastructure? And so I looked at this holistically, and I see that we have issues with education. We have issues with the environmental justice. We have issues with criminal justice and job creation. So why not be a part of the solution? And that's part of why I decided to run for Lieutenant Governor, to be a part of the solution of a lot of the problems that exist in the state of Delaware.
You know, Sherry, that is probably one of everybody's problems, and that is not understanding infrastructure. And I'm glad that you put it that way, because so many times we look at things as we see them and not as they really are.
Exactly.
And I think that getting that kind of ability to get some input to people that have a sensitivity for what people in Wilmington, because the state is just not Wilmington,
It's not.
and information has to flow in order to let other people know
Right.
some of the problems and get to see them closer.
Exactly.
And I think that that's great. But go on and talk a little more about your council experience that has led you to take on that challenge. And so many people have said you're very young for that responsibility. Mm-hmm. But my experience with you has been that you're not young for that responsibility, because it just takes commitment
It does.
to be responsible. And I've seen you 110% in all that. So go ahead and explain to the folks why we need to get you down there in Dover.
We really have to get an understanding. We need people in Dover who have an understanding of all communities, not just one community. So often we've had people in Dover who, if I'm Irish, then I'm more concerned about the Irish community. If I'm Polish, then I'm more concerned about the Polish community. But we haven't had someone down there who cares about all people, regardless of race, color, or creed. That we need someone who really will fight for everyone. And when I found out that there were 100 homeless children in Lewis who were still going to school, that is utterly ridiculous. When you find out what's happening in Dover on New Street, and then of course what's happening here in Wilmington, these are problems all throughout the state. But so often we as Wilmingtonians, we just think that the only issues exist are right here in Wilmington. Obviously we're the largest city in the state, but these issues exist all throughout the state. And we need people in office who will care about all people, not just one set of individuals. And you talked about, me being young, and the Word of God says, and a child will lead them. So that's one thing right there. And then the other side of it is, no one ever said anything when John Carney, his first office was lieutenant governor. But the first office he ever held, it wasn't an issue then. So why is it such an issue now that I'm running for lieutenant governor after having served on the city council? And to be quite honest, Councilman Congo can attest to it. You serve one term on the city council, that's comparable to 20 years in the state legislature, especially if your boots on the ground.
Well, now that we have Councilman Congo with us again, maybe he can help us out here a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I think that Sherry is definitely ready. She's a great person. She has a heart for the people. I think she's a much needed addition.
Thank you.
In person in Dover, because like she said, a lot of what happens does come from Dover. So we just need people there who are in our corner, people there who aren't going to be afraid to speak up and just bring some new ideas to Dover. So we definitely have to support her. How can people support you, Sherry?
Well, one of the main things we need to do is ensure that people are registered to vote. And then so often in this state, we have these dates that exist that the community doesn't know anything about them. So people need to get registered as early as January 2016. They actually can get registered right now by going online to the Department of Elections and getting registered to vote. Also, I really think people need to pay attention to the issues and pay attention to the fact that so many people come into the community when it's time for an election, but where are those people when it's time, when something's actually going on in the community? You have to be boots on the ground. You have to know the issues that exist from Milford all the way to Wilmington, from Wilmington all the way down to Selbyville. You have to know the state in order to make a difference. And I've made it my business to learn a lot of the issues that are going on throughout the state so that I can be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And too often we have people who run for office because they're more concerned about the power, the privilege, and the prestige. But I'm more concerned about the people and getting in a position where I can help as many people as I possibly can to make our state a better place.
And that's genuine. When Sherry speaks, everything that comes out of her mouth is genuine. She just has a desire to help. And like I said, I just think that we need her in Dover, so we have to support her. So if somebody wants to get registered to vote, what can they do? Can they give you a call? You can kind of
Sure, they can give me a call. They can go to my website.
Okay.
They can go on Facebook, and then I'll put a link. Actually, what I'm going to do tonight is put the link where they can get registered to vote on my Facebook page, and then people can just share that, because we need as many people voting as we possibly can get. And it's not just about being a person of color, it's about being a person of change. And we can't afford to just let things continue as they are, the status quo. And what happens in our state so often is we play musical chairs with the positions. We'll say, well, you put this person in this position and you put this person in that position, and it's not a fair dynamic, because when do other people from other communities get an opportunity to serve at that level and to make a difference in all communities?
Sherry, sometimes people feel lost, and they really have no idea how important it is, and the fact that the possibility of you being lieutenant governor. This is some brand new stuff. And so talk to us about, just give us an idea of how realistic it really is that you can become lieutenant governor.
It's very realistic, and the reason being is people are ready for a change. And it's not just, like I said, being a person of color, being a woman, and actually being from the community makes a huge difference. So often we've had people in positions of high places that they come from privilege. And when you come from privilege, you don't really get it. You don't get that there are people struggling, that there are people who have holes in their roof and it rains in their house every night. You don't get that there are people still in Sussex County that have outhouses, for heaven's sakes. Some people just don't understand that level of poverty. And then when you lived in the community, you have an understanding of it. You want to do something to make a difference. You can't walk through West Center City and not care. I mean, I just personally can't. And then West Center City is a perfect example of it. They have been browbeaten and told so often, if you've been told that you're not anything, you'll never be anything, then voting is the last thing you'll want to do, because you don't see the elected official as an ally. You actually see them as an enemy, because you think that they don't have your back. There are some of us who really care, like Councilman Congo, myself, Councilman Williams, and several others that are on the council right now. But the people who live in impoverished situations, the last thing they're thinking about is voting, and that's probably one of the first things they should be thinking about, because their vote counts. A lot of times, and I know this, there are some elected officials that will check the books. And what does that mean? Before they return the call, see if they'll have their aide check and see if that individual actually votes before returning the call. These are things that people need to know. Well, I don't check any books. If you call me, I just return the call. It doesn't matter to me, but I would prefer that you do vote, and not just for my sake, but just so you can have a voice. Your vote is your voice. And so often in our community, we get frustrated and we'll say, well, I'm not going to vote. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. That's actually disfaming the names of Fannie Lou Hamer and Dr. Martin Luther King, and so many Medgar Evers, people who fought for us to actually vote, and then we turn around and say, well, I'm not going to vote. Do you not know your history? People died so that we, people who look like us, and then especially me, there are 2 amendments for someone who looks like me to be able to vote. There actually have to be amendments to the Constitution for someone who looks like me to vote, being a woman and a person of color. So I can't stand by idly. And when I hear people say, I'm not going to vote, I say, please, even if you don't vote for me, just vote.
How do you create that educational process that makes people who feel that they're less chance people create a value that says voting is important?
What we have to do, we as elected officials, we can't send anybody else down there. We have to go ourselves. Knock on those doors and let people know that we care. There were so many people that came out and voted when I ran for 6th District City Council because they felt empowered. This was their person from their community who loves them. And when I say their person, not just because I'm African American, but I'm a St. E's girl. And the 6th District, St. E's is in that community. So it felt like one of their own family members was going into office. And of course, I'm from the West Side. But we have to start electing people who get it. And we, as the elected officials, have to get people more engaged, building up our civic associations, letting people know that their vote counts and their voice matters. And people who live in impoverished communities, they've been told so often, it doesn't matter what you say or do, your community is going to stay the same. But imagine if everybody in West Center City voted. West Center City would look just like 40 acres.
Yeah, I think that that's very true, Sherry. It does almost have to be on an individual basis, how we have to get people involved in the whole voting process. But even bigger than that, I think that like we have to take a look at how we're educating our children.
That's right.
And that like voting isn't a part of their curriculum. And politics usually isn't a part of their curriculum. I think that's done intentionally so that when they grow up, they won't be as interested in politics. Because just imagine if children were taught about politics and the importance of voting from 1st grade on. When they turn 18, they're automatically going to be excited to register to vote, just like they're excited to get their license at 16. If that's taught every year to them, when they turn 18, it's going to be automatic.
That's right.
And why wouldn't that be a part of the of the education system? I think it's because they don't want us to vote, because they know that voting can make a difference. So I think it's done intentionally, but that's something that that's another.
I had a conversation
subject.
with an elected official, pretty high-ranking elected official in our state, and the individual shared with me, if the African American community mobilized, then the African American community would be running the state of Delaware.
No
But
doubt.
we can't be disjointed going into major elections, and we can't be disjointed going into anything. It can't be an issue of, well, I don't want this person to be in charge, or I don't want this person to have this kind of notoriety. We have to get over all of that and just really start working together as a people. And when we work together as a people, it's very, very hard to break a whole bundle of sticks. But if you have 1 or 2 sticks, it's easy to break them. But you try to break a whole bundle, it's very difficult. And until people start understanding that we can actually start running, we run the country, we have a president who looks like us, but we should be running the nation, not just people of color, but people who care. And so often we have people in these positions. It's just about, like I said, the power, the privilege, and the prestige. But they keep forgetting about the most important P, and that's the people.
And that's true. I mean, we do have people. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people in Dover who don't get it, who don't care. Just around this whole education thing. We already know that we're gonna have to put up a fight in order to get some things passed around the whole way we're educating children, because there are people in Dover who don't get it and they don't care. So we already know going into the next time when the people in Dover are back in session, that there's going to be a fight, because they just don't care and they don't get it, and that's sad that we're trying to improve our children's education, but there are people who are going to put up a fight just because they don't care.
And I'm not sure if it's that they don't care or they just don't know. Because part of it is, like, if I have been raised in a certain community, then I may not understand the dynamics of an educational system. Like, okay, if I've always gone to private school, then why should I care about the public school kids? I'm not saying me, I'm talking about the mindset of the individuals who are making the decisions. So until they experience it, or if they went to the best public schools in the state, that makes a huge difference too, because that's a different tax base. They're learning about politics. They're learning about their history. If I'm a Polish student and I'm learning how to speak Polish, I went to a mass at St. Hedwig's, and part of the mass was in Polish, and they sang Christmas songs in Polish. Well, imagine if we had something like that at our churches, where people are speaking Swahili or French or Spanish. These kinds of things are things that need to be taught early on. And our churches, the church was always the hub. It was always the place for our community. And so we've gotten away from that too, where the church made a huge difference in the community. Right now, every single church should ensure that every single person in those churches are registered to vote, and then have some kind of voting registration in the community. But our pastors, I like the ones that do step up, especially the ones through IMAC, but we have to get more engaged. I'll take responsibility myself as an elected official, engage the community.
Do you think that's a value, though?
That's a very good question.
Here's what a value.
That for the ministers to be able to say, it is my responsibility to see that everybody in my church, and then to go knock on his other pastor's door to say, we want you to join in this process so that we can be an effective unit.
Well, I think IMAC does a really good job with that. And there are some pastors that really have made a difference in the community. But the question is, do we feel like, well, I don't necessarily say just the pastor, the congregants can do it too.
Sure, I hate to cut you off, but we're running short now, but you're going to have to make it a point to get back on here more often.
Oh, I certainly shall.
And the fact that what you're doing is educating me at the same time, and we need to educate a lot of other people.
Sure.
So, do you have anything else?
No, I know we don't have a lot of time, so like you said, definitely got to come back.
Sure.
So we can spend almost like the whole hour just kind of.
Oh, I could just tell the community,
Yeah,
if you'd like to be involved with the campaign, feel free to go to DorseyWalkerForDelaware.com. You can make a contribution if you'd like. Feel free to send an email to SherryDorseyWalker@gmail.com, and we'll ensure that we get you engaged with the campaign. Thank you, and may God bless you.
We're going to take a quick break now, and Trippy will be back with community news and our funeral service.
All right.
Thank you very much.